Nice.
Some water. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dogs, cats, rats, and squirrels, welcome to Jam Machines, episode 0. This is episode 0. We felt weird making this episode 1. So we decided that this is we're just going to lead into this nice and slow. And this is going to be episode 0.
So it's okay.
I mean, we get kind of.
I mean, we're in my room.
This is this is a week in the making. Last week, this idea was made, and 7 days later, we are now here making this episode. So let's just get the elephant in the room out of the way. What is Jam Machines?
Honestly, I'd like to know myself, but where's the name come from, Micah?
Jam Machines. So interesting story on the name. Okay. If you're watching this and you have no idea who we are, we'll introduce ourselves in a second. But we proposed a bunch of names, and we ended up on 2 options. The first one is Jam Machines, which you're seeing right now. This is an anagram of the words Micah and James. Not and, just the letter N. So Micah and James, if you take those letters and rearrange them around, you get Jam Machines. I don't know why. I thought that was super cool. And so did James. The other one was Premiere Bros, which is a little more conventional of a name. And that's a play on words on Adobe Premiere Pro, which is something that we both used a lot in high school and we still use today. So I thought that'd be cool.
Yeah, I just wasn't fine with that name just because I haven't used Premiere in a while. So it didn't really make any sense to.
Yeah. But in the end, we couldn't decide. So we decided, okay, we're gonna make it a poll. So we put on Instagram, hey, what's your name? We described the names. What do you guys think we should make the name? Day later, 49-51 split. So did not help at all. No idea what we're going to do. So at the end, we're like, okay, the poll didn't help, so it's just our 2 choices. And we decided we're going to go with Jam Machines. So this is Jam Machines. The decision to make this podcast came last week, because I do a lot of driving. And I said, okay, guess I'll just start watching podcasts. So I put up a thing on my Instagram story. I'm like, okay, what podcast should I listen to? And James...
Were you watching them or listening to them?
Listening. I keep saying watching, because there are video versions, but usually I'm just playing the audio. So listening to podcasts. I'm like, okay, what podcast should I listen to? Nothing super crazy or inappropriate at it, but what should I listen to? James slides up and says, what if we make one? And so yeah, this is his idea. So, James?
Yeah, I mean, we FaceTime while I was on vacation. We were like, all right, well, what do you want to talk about? Blah, 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 blah. And I was like, well, I don't know. What do you want to talk about? And you're like, I don't know. We just got to get it going. We just got to start. So, yeah. We can have different episodes be different topics, and we're going to have people on, do stuff like that. But honestly, this is just going to go wherever it takes us, So, yeah. Everyone, are we ready to bleed into it?
Bleed into what?
What we're going to talk about today.
Oh, yeah. We got a lot of stuff that we're going to talk about, but yeah, I think I don't know where Jam Machines is going to go, and James doesn't know where Jam Machines is going to go. When I think about, because for a while I thought about just making a solo podcast, but then I realized I'd probably want a teammate. So when he offered the idea, I'm like, oh, wow, this is awesome. But I figured it'd be a mix of current events, because I think any good podcast talks about any non-specialty podcast, where if your podcast isn't specifically based on basketball or something, I think it makes sense to talk about current events. So some kind of current event, and then really just James and I have weird, interesting, and deep, thoughtful conversations about things that interest us and things that go way beyond the scope of us.
That's what happens when you're college roommates, though.
Yeah. So just a quick background on us. My name is Micah. I went to Elmira High School. I'm currently pursuing a bachelor's degree in adolescence education and math at SUNY Cortland. Going to become a math teacher, assuming this doesn't blow up, which I highly doubt it will. But that's the plan. I am mainly experienced in videography and kind of just creative thinking. I have a YouTube channel called Pun Intended, which I've been unfortunately very stagnant on because I have a lot of work to do in college, but that's kind of my specialty.
Yeah, I mean, so I go to Cortland College in upstate New York, and we just do we do video, we do stuff whenever we feel like it. We got the gears.
Yeah, but like talk about Almirography.
Yeah.
The name that the name that everybody likes.
I'm not really here to talk about myself, but yeah, I'm a photographer. Blah blah blah. My name's James, and that's I'm the James in Jam Machines. So yes.
So as far as us two, there is a trio that exists with Adon, but Adon is not a part of this podcast, so I get to talk about the duo. So James and I have worked on projects together.
He'll make an appearance.
He will definitely make an appearance. You will get to see Adon. You might see more of him. We worked on the same projects together. We went to the same college together. We roomed in the same dorm together. We have dated the same girls in the spans of different years. So, and we've been through a lot together. So in the span of maybe 3-4 years. So, if there's anyone I want to make a podcast with, is this guy right here. Maybe a couple of my brothers because they talk about some weird stuff. But so that's us. That's Jam Machines. James, and like I said, this is episode 0. So like we're not like I do have some stuff that we're going to talk about near the end. But this is we're just gonna recap like our lives. And this is not the normal format of the episode. We're not just gonna be talking about ourselves every episode. It's gonna be about stuff that's beyond us. But I feel weird not having us just recap ourselves before we get into that kind of stuff. So James, just how's your month been like? Like what stuff? Like you can talk about your Utah trip, your work. Like what's going on for you, man?
So March started out where I was just I'm a gas attendant for a company. So I just pumped gas, and then they transferred me over a couple times. So I've just been working there, getting paid for the mileage. Love it. And around the middle of what month is it? It's March, right?
It's March.
In the middle of March, I just went on a trip, my girlfriend, to Utah, which is a long drive. And
what was it, like 17, 30?
No, so it's 31 hours
31
there.
hours.
We had to go under Colorado because there was a big storm. And they started using words, we were looking up the weather, they were using words like thunder snow and stuff like that. And we were like, all right, well, we're going to try and avoid that. So we have to like go through Kansas and Missouri, and I don't know.
Dog, what's thunder snow?
I don't know, and they didn't define it at the bottom of the page or anything. So
because if you're by Colorado, like that's normal.
You should know, I guess.
That's normal. Like, it's just thunder snow.
So
of course. You got to ask a native for that kind of information.
Our Midwest listeners that I'm sure we have know all about that. So, but yeah, we had me and my girlfriend were falling asleep back and forth, switching, driving. She drove most of the time because it was her car. But, we got there. It was really fun. We actually went the night that Daylight Savings was happening. Mm-hmm. So, we're in New York, so we drive to 2 different time zones to get to Mountain Time. So you're going back an hour, but it's spring, so spring ahead. So it ended up evening out one time, where we went back an hour, but then all of a sudden 2 a.m. we went an hour ahead, so it actually...
So nothing changed?
Yeah. It was kind of interesting.
Could you say that you time traveled?
Well, you time travel
you didn't travel.
I was going to say, you time travel every time you go into a different time.
Yeah. Well, technically.
Yeah, well,
It's you time travel at amounts so minuscule that they're negligible to human life.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So, we did that, saw a couple... we wanted to do so much more, but... Okay, so like I like Breaking Bad. Yeah. I wanted to go to Albuquerque and see all the buildings because it's shot on location. But where I was in Utah, it's a 7-hour drive, and I'm not. We're not gonna every morning wake up and do a bunch of hour-long driving and stuff like that. So, we just decided, okay, we'll just fly out to Albuquerque next time. So, anyways, it was a great trip. Shout out Zion National Park, really awesome national park. Mm-hmm. You can't fly drones out there. Since 2014, there's been all national parks, not state parks, like we go to. The national parks, there's a full, I want to call it nationwide ban, though. So I couldn't use any of that, but saw the Grand Canyon, was great. North Rim was closed for the winter, but, went to the South Rim, took some pictures, and all in all, it was a great trip. So that was pretty much my month. I've just been getting back to work in the swing of things since.
Yeah. And James doesn't want to plug himself, but I'm more than willing to plug him. Like when he goes out to a place and it's somewhere beautiful, like you can tell, like he takes really good pictures of this kind of stuff, and that's not even like his specialty. So, yeah, go to Elmirography. And I know you don't know how to spell / pronounce it, so it's ELMIRAGRAPHY. So Elmirography. On Instagram, he has his own website, does a spectacular job. You know what? You were saying that like you don't know what thunder snow is.
Yeah.
But like to a Colorado resident, like they know that kind of stuff. I think maybe not every state, but I think every region of the world has that kind of thing where just their people just know the weather and everyone else is like looks at them and they're just like crazed. Like especially New York. Like in New York, third winter is like, to me, third winter is a common term. And to other people, like, you have 3 winters?
Well, that's what I was going to ask is, do we have one that's around here, like something?
Yeah, no, there's this Facebook post that goes around every year where it's kind of like the 12 seasons in New York, and it has this arrow, it says, you are here, and you got like winter, full spring, second winter, the pollinating, fall, spring, third winter, actual spring, spring of deception, summer, hell's front porch, false fall, second summer, actual fall, winter. Like it's this whole, it's almost as if New York is going on this roller coaster. But if you go to somewhere else and they're like, yeah, we're in third winter, they'd be like, you're a crazy man. Just as we would say, you guys have thunder snow?
Right.
That's going to be my new rapper name is Thunder Snow. Too late. I already called. I called it.
All right. I looked up. So thunder snow, also known as a winter thunderstorm or thunder snowstorm, is an unusual kind of thunderstorm with snow falling as the primary precipitation instead of rain. So it just snows during it. It typically falls in regions of strong upward motion within the cold sector of an extratropical cyclone.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever that.
You know what? That makes sense. Like,
I thought
if you think about it, you have a thunderstorm where it rains and there's lightning, but snow, sometimes it doesn't rain. But what I'm saying is, snow is just frozen rain. So now that I'm thinking about it, why isn't thunder snow more common? Like, is there a meteorological reason that we don't like? Is it the fact that this water is frozen that just doesn't conduct? Like, I know nothing about this.
It has a map where over here would be cold air, cooler air, and then elevated convection and warm moist air.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm no I don't know what you call it.
Meteorologist.
Yeah. I'm no meteorologist, so I can't really interpret that, but I'm guessing the air around here, we just don't get it where it collides that much. And that's why we barely get tornadoes, stuff like that. But yeah, anyways.
I'm happy we don't get tornadoes.
Right. Your month.
Then things are crazy. My month, my March has been about the same as my February. Started the semester a week late because of the coronavirus. So I've been into my second semester of my junior year. James is unfortunately not joining me as a very busy man with work. So he might be tagging along in the fall. Might not. He will be tagging along in the fall. Duo's going to get back into the college room. Right now, it's all for me. It's completely messy as a result. I really do need to clean it. But yeah, I could spend 3 podcasts worth of time talking about my classes and how much I dislike some of my professors and the assignments they give. But I won't go into that. It's just, man, this semester is hard. And I hate to say that in a sense, SUNY Cortland screwed me over, but they really did screw me over because how it works in a mathematics education degree is that you kind of have 2 things you have to work on. One, you obviously have to do your math. So you have to take math courses up to a certain level where you can basically prove algebra, prove geometry, and prove calculus. And once you get to that point of understanding, then you're mathematically proficient enough to teach high school level. So I'm at this point where I'm basically understanding and proving algebra.
Right.
I still have geometry and calculus to do. So that's about my math. My gripe is not with math. I love my math classes, and I love my math teachers. My gripe was with my education courses, because they had to be taken in sequential order. Math, not necessarily. There are prerequisites, but you can kind of take them in a weird order. Education, it's in a set, rigorous order. You have the first one, the second one, the third one, and the fourth one, and then student teaching. what I was supposed to do was take my first one this semester, then my second one next semester, then my third one the next semester, and my fourth one the next semester. That's how it was supposed to go.
Right.
But they told me that they were not offering the second course in the fall semester. Right. Like, we're not offering it. When I asked why, they gave me some stupid reason about like COVID or something. I don't know. But they're like, yeah, we're not offering it. And they're like, so unfortunately you have to graduate a year late. I'm like, that is not happening. So like, we're going to set up a WebEx call and I'm not graduating a year late. And they're like, well, we don't normally do this, but you could take the first one and the second one at the same time, which means you would be doing double the amount of field work. So you get to get 50 hours of experience. And you're taking 2 education courses at once, and they're both writing intensive, so it's a lot of papers. And I'm like, sign me up. Like, you know what? Maybe I'll just make this semester really hard, but then I do get a semester where I don't have to take education. I can kind of just focus on like health and wellness or pickleball or something. But yeah, so that means that basically from Monday to Thursday is just constant work, because one of my professors basically gives us either 1 or 2 exams every week to 1 or 2 essays every week to write. And then my other course is a lot of just like hands-on experience in making lesson plans, creating video tutorials, doing a lot of tutoring in high schools around neighboring areas in Syracuse. So, and my math class is super hard. So that's about Monday through Thursday. And I try to work throughout, I try to make sure that those are like my busy days. So that way on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I can come home, spend some time with my family, make a podcast. But some weekends it doesn't work out. This weekend it did. It's kind of an easier week for me, but that is the March. That's how March is doing.
Yeah. Okay. So that's great then. Were you, by the way, were you supposed to like, did it catch you by surprise that they weren't doing that class for the next semester?
Yeah. They just sent me an email. They're like, hey, we're not offering it next semester. Like, I had registered for it.
Oh.
Like I did a meeting with my advisor, and by the way, my advisor is super awesome. She's one of my professors right now, is a math teacher, super awesome. She like helped me map out the next 3 semesters basically to a T, which is basically how I need to do it because I didn't start out as a major. So I had to switch over, so what I have is to a T, exactly what I need. And I had that all mapped out. And then they sent, after I registered, they sent my Excel sheet, which had my plan, over to the chair of math. Mm-hmm. And they're like, that's not good. So they emailed like, hey, I'm pretty sure we're not offering this class in the fall. And that's, I promise you, that is how they worded it. They sent 2 emails about 2 months apart. They sent one email that was like, hey, I'm pretty sure we're not offering this class in the fall. No guarantees, no 100%, no 0%. They're like, hey, we're pretty sure we're not offering this class in the fall.
So it's probably just contingent upon.
Yeah. So I sent an email back. I'm like, well, is there something I can do about it? No response. 2 months later, sent me an email. Yeah, we're definitely not offering this course in the fall. You're going to have to graduate a year late. I'm like... So yeah, they to answer your question, yes, this was very much sprung. This was very much sprung on me.
What's the saying though that I'm trying to think of? They took the ground off your feet or something.
Swept me off my feet?
Yeah, they swept you off your feet. No.
Not romantically.
Yeah.
Oh no.
No, there's
Oh no.
There's something though. I'm not thinking of it right now.
Well, I'm sure it'll come to you later, like 30 minutes later. You're just gonna like randomly blurt it out and be like, "What are you talking about?"
That's me with cumulative.
Cumulative?
I have it in my notes because you remember that, right?
Yeah,
I was trying to think of it. Yeah.
So you're constantly trying to use it in sentences now?
Well, no, I'm just saying like I'm always forgetting. Like I'll find myself.
Oh, you're always forgetting how to use, like you forget the word when it makes sense. You're like, what's that word?
Yeah. And I'm right. So that's what I'm saying. So that's the same thing.
Okay.
But if you graduate a year late, it'd be fine. Because I'm gonna be graduating a year late.
Yeah, I'm not gonna graduate a year late. I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to graduate a year late. I really don't. And I don't think it's for any like weird or specific reason other than I don't want to. I've never had a history of doing things late. I didn't want to graduate high school late. I didn't want to... I've never failed a class just because I don't ever want to have to, like... When I experience classes that I hate, I work 3 times as hard on those classes. Mm-hmm. So that way I can just say, I will never, ever have to take this class. Ever again. I will never have to look at this professor. I'll never have to sit in this classroom. I'll never have to relearn this material. Like, I will not fail this class. Because if I fail it, I got to take it all over again. And that just... I can't do that. So, that's our months. 2020. I think it goes without saying. I think we beat this. I think everyone has beat this topic until it's dead on the street. 2020 was a bad year. I think it was an objectively bad year. I think if you had a great year in 2020, that's awesome for you. Most of us had bad years. Mine was okay. I don't think it was awful, but it certainly wasn't up to par. So,
but didn't you have a good summer? Everyone seemed to have a good summer.
I had a good summer.
Because they opened things up in June. And it kind of gave us like a brief hope.
Yeah.
Of like, oh, college is going to be fine. But
yeah, college is going to be fine. Narrator, college is not fine. My summer was great until it wasn't great kind of thing. Right. I can't really like describe how, but you know, and I'm not going to harp the coronavirus either because we are going to talk about that later. That's like our current events topic of the day. But yeah, 2020, that was my transition from Corning Community College to SUNY Cortland. So these were my first ever experiences with independence, like ever. I never had plans to move out of my house because that's not really like, that's not common. That's not things that people do in our house really. I mean, we do have one person that moved out, but
yeah, I was gonna say
yeah. But at 20, I'm probably not gonna be moving out anytime soon. So getting into this college dorm, first experience of independence. Also, first time living with James,
right?
Which was an experience. And overly
come on.
The reason your room's dirty is because I'm not there for.
Whoa!
Yep.
You already said it.
I said it.
I cleaned every morning. Every morning, I would sweep.
Bro, you bought a whole broom and dustpan.
I don't know.
Yeah.
My camera just stopped. It said it stopped automatically.
Oh, it did? Oh, yeah, it does that.
Keep talking while I fix that, but yeah.
Okay. So, I like 2021 so far. And you know what? I don't think anyone can really dislike 2021 after what 2020 brought us. I think universally you kind of just have to like 2021. Because, like, if we've all got this mindset of if 2021, if it can't get better than 2020, then where are we going?
Yeah.
If this is it, like, if we cannot improve from this year, then is there really anything to look forward to ever? So this kind of forced all of our hands at like, wow, 2021, look at the sun is shining, like the birds are chirping, like the cases are going down, things are like, wow, look at all this. Like Kanye released a new, actually, I don't even know what Kanye did. I have no idea.
Lil Nas X released something.
Lil Nas X released a new, so like everything is now got this positive, and I think that's good. I think that's what we need. I think we need more of that. I think we need to do a lot less looking at things pessimistically, which I understand is preaching to the choir to a lot of people. Right. And I understand we both just complained about 2020 for about a solid 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But I think it's good for us, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like, I was never one of those people that said, fuck 2020, blah, 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 just because, like, and I'm not just saying that because I had a good summer, because I did have an alright summer.
Good.
But, like, you know, I hit my lowest earlier in the year, and, like...
You got out of the way early.
Yeah, kind of. Well, 3 months in anyways, so it's at a quarter. But, like, people like to... I don't know really how to word it, but, like, they just kind of look at a year and they're like, oh, that was bad, and just kind of throw everything in with it. Yeah. Oh, there was a bad election, or there was, you know, COVID, blah, blah. Yeah, it all isn't it called COVID-19 because it started in 2019?
Yeah, it started at the very end of 2019.
It didn't even have anything to do with the year. It didn't even start in the year. The U.S. just got it.
Yeah, I think that what you're alluding to is, I think it has something to do with people noticing this trend of 2020 sucked.
Yeah.
And even if their year wasn't really like the worst, they still have this kind of get out of jail free card where they can blame their own shortcomings, their own mistakes.
Yeah.
They can kind of sum that all up into 2020 sucked. Mm-hmm. And maybe there's not a level of accountability that there should be. Maybe there is. Who knows? But
That's
like,
what I'm saying. It's like accountability.
Like, what if you sucked and 2020 did not?
Yeah.
And I mean that. Like, what if I sucked? What if I just did some bad things in 2020? And yeah, maybe there's a pandemic out there somewhere across the street. But like, what if I'm my own problem? What if I was my own problem in 2020 and 2021 I need to not focus on the world around me, but I need to focus on myself?
Right.
So
yeah, I don't know. I think it's a weird accountability thing. That's what I was trying to say. Yeah.
Here's a segue. Serial killers.
Yeah.
I'm really good at
They exist.
Yeah, and we were having this argument before we even filmed, and I said, "Stop, we're going to talk about this on the podcast." My little brother, who will be making an appearance eventually because he wants to. We were having a conversation yesterday. He said, "I think even serial killers have the decency to not litter." And I disagree with him. And James agrees with him. Kind of.
Yeah.
But if you don't even have the decency to not kill people, can you really have the decency to throw away your trash?
So here's my thing. You're saying the decency.
No, that's not what I said. That's what Eli said.
Okay.
I'm quoting him.
Okay, well, take your position on it then.
Go ahead.
I don't think serial killers have the decency to throw away their trash. They don't have serial killers litter. They just do.
Okay, so here's the thing. Like, serial killers, and I don't have all the facts with me.
I brought my whole document on serial killers.
Right.
I'm prepared.
There's a laptop
in front of me, but if I'm just talking about my opinion and how I originally formed it, it's, you good? I saw you look at the other camera. It threw me off.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah, we're good.
But they're like, from what I remember when watching all these documentaries and stuff like that, they're not like that messy. Like, I obviously, they're either a sociopath or a psychopath. They don't really have sympathy or empathy for other humans. They're kind of just like props or something they want to use, whatever, for their own arousal. So it doesn't really have to do with like decency or anything with litter. Obviously, it's indecent to kill someone, but like, they might be really organized or something, because obviously if they're going to get away with murder, you have to, keep track of everything and stuff like that. So if you're saying, oh, Ted Bundy, yeah, he killed all his girls and stuff like that, he's probably going to litter. And I'm not really going to connect those together, because I don't see how you connect those.
First of all,
one crime doesn't mean they're going to do another.
I'm not connecting serial killer. I'm not connecting like their acts. I'm connecting like
who we're talking.
Yeah, but like what kind of person? My question is what. And first of all, obviously, I don't think anyone's gonna litter on a crime scene because they're not gonna want people knowing they murdered.
Yeah,
so I'd say there has to be some kind of element of tidy / organized / thought out process. But like, what kind of person do you have to be a serial killer?
That's what I was saying. They're usually.
And my follow up question is, if that person that we described that will become a serial killer is in a place where there is no trash receptacles within 50 feet of him, and they're holding an empty Snickers wrapper, are they going to hold on to it until they find a trash can, or are they going to throw it on the ground? I think they're going to throw it on the ground. I think, not only do I think non-serial killers, I think, honestly, I don't care how many people hate me, I don't think you'd be very, very hard-pressed to find any human being that's not littered at least 3 or 4 times in their life. Very, very hard.
Okay, everyone's littered before.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So yeah, like, they've done it as much as the next guy, though.
Yeah, so what makes it different for a serial killer?
Wait a second. What are we talking about now?
I don't think a serial killer has the decency to hold on to his trash until he finds a trash can.
Yeah. So yeah, I think he may. No. I think he may have the decency too.
I think he won't.
But that's what I'm saying, though, Micah. It's not about decency. It's about like.
I think if you have.
I'm making the connection though. Clean people. Do you think
clean people?
Okay, so yeah, people who are organized people.
Okay.
People who kind of live by a schedule, let's say.
Okay.
Those types of people. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
You got a professional person in your head, whatever?
Yeah.
Do you think that person litters more than the average person?
More than the average person?
Yes.
I'd say no.
Right.
I'd say they wouldn't.
And serial killers are kind of like that. They're kind of organized people. They have to keep track of things. They're making sure, obviously, they go out and wild out because they get aroused by that sort of thing. But at the end of the day, they clean up after themselves most of the time until they get...
Like, obviously, I still think a serial person litters, but, I mean, maybe the question is just worded wrong, you know? Like, you're right. I don't think decency is the correct way to word it.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If you're a serial killer, that doesn't tell me whether you litter or not.
I think it gives me a good guess.
In fact,
I think it gives me a good
they want to
guess.
stay on the good side of the police, so they're probably not going to commit other crimes.
Yeah, but police aren't watching out for litterers. I think
They've been caught.
I'm just saying it's going to up your chances if you commit another crime.
I equate littering to putting your shopping cart back in the corral when you leave the grocery store.
Here we go.
No one... Oh, don't here we go me. This is important.
No, because everyone already knows.
You understand the
Wait. No, it's not the same thing. Because one's against the law and one isn't.
Yeah, but no policeman is going to be like, whoa, you're going to jail. You drop that Snickers bar.
No, they give you a fine. They write you a ticket, don't they?
Okay. But how many times have you been fined for littering?
It's
0.
about,
Answer 0.
What I'm saying is
Say 0.
You could get caught. A serial killer's less likely to do that because he obviously that ups your chances of...
Is that...
Yeah.
I think the odds of you getting caught or fined or jailed for littering are so low that there's able to be a distinction made between that and putting your shopping cart back in the grocery store. There's no obligation to. Alright, there's no consequences. No one's going to look at you differently. But you know deep down, the right thing to do is put that shopping cart in the corral. I think that is the ultimate testament of a person with good morals. Is do they return the shopping cart?
Yeah.
And I think if you were standing there with a Snickers bar and you drop it, and you go about your day, statistically, no repercussions, no judgments, nothing. But you know that you shouldn't. You shouldn't be killing Mother Earth like that. You know it. So I think littering might have something to do with how we like ethics and moral dilemmas, maybe to some extent. And maybe that could spark a conversation about the morality, like the ethics of serial killers. I don't know. You're being awful quiet right now.
Well, I'm letting you speak because you're okay. So I see you're driving home your point, but like, do you catch yourself kind of like going through it? Like you have to hit this, and you kind of realize you're kind of stretching. Like they don't really have anything to do with each other.
What I was saying right now is not me trying to argue the point I was trying to argue earlier. Okay. It was just me trying to make that distinction between littering and the shopping cart. And then afterwards I was like, well, maybe that could be the basis of the conversation with a serial killer. I wasn't like trying to stretch it all the way back to what I was saying earlier. Okay. It definitely seems like that now that I'm playing it back in my head, though. I get where you're going.
Yeah. So I'm just responding to the last part of the thing you said. But yeah, I don't know. I just don't think they have anything to do with each other.
If you like this, you like that. Oh, I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
No, you're fine. So I was gonna say, so Eli,
so Eli, we'll bring him in. He'll give his opinion.
Yeah, he can't really defend himself right now. He might. You disagree with him, right? So I agree with him.
I kind of disagree with how the question's worded, but I mean, do I think a serial killer will litter? Yes. Yeah. If we're going into decency, I think you've changed my mind. Right. Do I think there's a connection? I'd say no after this conversation.
Right.
But, I mean, I think a serial killer is like a human being, and I think human beings litter, period. Yeah. If you like that segue, you're going to love this segue. The coronavirus. And that's why I didn't want to talk about it earlier, because we're going to talk about it now. This comes from Texas.gov. Governor Abbott will lift the mask mandate in open Texas 100%. Governor Greg Abbott today issued an executive order lifting the mask mandate in Texas and increasing capacity at all businesses and facilities in the state to 100%. Governor made the announcement at Montologo's Mexican restaurant in Lubbock in an address to the Lubbock Chamber of Commerce. What do you think about that?
I kind of zoned out. You're talking about the lift with Texas?
Yeah, so the Texas state governor passed legislation on... this is in March 2nd, so this is actually not relevant information at all. Or maybe it's not. But it's gonna lead into a question anyways. Okay. But like, yeah, I think as far as I know, Texas lifted their mask mandate and they've opened 100%.
Okay, so just from that sentence alone, yeah, obviously I have no problem. They're lifting the mandate. Any of these stores, they can force you to wear a mask, and you'll have to wear a mask because you have to go with whatever the company says. You're the one going in there.
Yeah.
Now, if we're talking about like, so if I understand this correctly, the DMV, do you have to wear a mask to the DMV?
I don't know.
Because that's the government.
I haven't been to the DMV.
And they can't mandate it if it's for the government. So that makes sense to me.
Yeah. Okay.
So if I'm wrong, whatever.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah. I mean, this obviously isn't gonna force shops to lift whatever they have. Yeah. Because the business, it's just giving them the hey, if you want to, you could lift your mask mandate. Right. And if they decide not to, then they decide not to. And obviously, customers should still be adhering to those because, or they can shop somewhere else.
Right. Exactly. It's a free market. You can do that or not.
That's the right of the business.
It's the same thing as like, okay, no shirt, no service by the beach.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. I mean, obviously you're trying to protect other people when you wear the mask. I understand that.
Yeah.
But if you're not forced to go in that store or the restaurant or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm perfectly fine with Governor Abbott.
Governor Abbott.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. I mean, if cases rise, then maybe it wasn't such a good idea. Yeah. I don't know.
I think there's a lot that we're going to have to like watch for in the future about what this decision makes. I think that this oh my goodness.
Yeah, you got it.
I think this decision is going to definitely raise a question that I have right now, and that is, when do you think, and I want you to make a prediction, when do you think that we are going to return to a maskless America?
Well,
as in, the coronavirus is no longer a stable annoyance or a problem in our lives.
Yeah.
And that I'd say, and at least 90% of states have removed their mask mandates. When do you think that's going to happen?
Okay, so we're not talking about the world. We're just
united, because like different countries experience the coronavirus differently. Some have overcome it. Some are in their worst stages. So I think it's hard to gauge the world, but I think we can gauge the United States. What do you think?
Well,
me personally, I don't even think I can get that for the United States. The thing is, I'm just as uncertain as the next guy. So if I'm just gonna make a prediction,
like just make something out of the blue. What if you're right? What if we get famous from this podcast? Because like, what if you say August 16th, all mandates are gone, and you were right?
Birthday?
No, it's not my birthday. It's close, but it's not my birthday.
I was gonna say, no, wait. Oh, yours is the 26th.
No.
When's your birthday?
17.
Oh, okay. So
Happy birthday to me. Soon. We're coronavirus free. So yeah, go ahead.
What I'd be telling you right now with my prediction is just what I hope, and what I hope is...
Okay, so yeah, so what do you have a hope? Are you like, here's something, and I hate to keep like asking you, like, do you see a light at the end of the tunnel? Right now. If you look at the tunnel, do you see a light? Or do you think we have a ways to go?
I hope that...
You hope that you will see a light at the end of the tunnel.
Right. I would hope 2023. That seems just realistic enough because companies are going to be so scared. They're not going to want to be like, oh, that's the place where COVID always is. So they're going to want to have masks on just like a lot. Yeah, government mandate's going to stop before that. Maybe, anyways. But I don't know, because here's what's been happening. Okay, you get the COVID vaccine, right? Oh, there's a new strain. And you don't have the vaccine for like the new strain of COVID. And I feel like that'll just keep being an excuse until... I don't know. That's how I see it. That's not what I think is going to happen necessarily. That's what I worry about. And I told you what I hope for. That's all. What do you think?
Okay, so you said 2023.
Yeah.
Okay. And like I said, that's not really a prediction. That's just what you hope for, or what you kind of think was going to happen.
I can't predict.
Yeah, okay. I think that 2023 is wildly late.
Really?
Yes, I do. Because yes, there's new strain. With any
Right.
with any infectious virus, it's going to unfortunately adapt to the situation that's in. And it'll cause new strands, which may or may not have different or adverse effects, may or may not be more serious, may or may not be less contagious. All right.
Well, they only mutate because
yes, they're mutating.
They have to get worse.
They're taking it in response to something, of course. So that's probably gonna, have an effect on the difference in the strands. But I think that we are much more knowledgeable now about this virus and how to handle the virus than we were when we got the main strand in late 2019. Actually, we got it early 2020, but the strand was introduced in 2019. I think many people agree that our response to COVID was bad. I think many countries' response to COVID were bad.
Was there really a good response? No one knew what to do.
I suppose. It was a response made with little knowledge about the virus, and I think it's very easy for politicians to look at this with the knowledge that we know now and say and conclude logically and factually that we should have done action at this point right here in the year. We should have done something here. And then they would say, okay, Mr. President Trump, why didn't you do that? And how do you answer that question? Because, and like I said, it's more complicated than that. There are allegations and there is stuff that claims that Trump may have known stuff or he know the severity and he decided to ignore it. I'm not going to get into that because I don't know enough about it to really speak on it. But what I'm getting at is that we have gone through this, and I think we can make a much more stable and responsive action plan to new strains. I think the vaccine, even with new strains, which by the way, I personally don't think the new strains are going to be as prevalent as the main strain is. So I think the vaccines are going to do a really, really good job. The addition of them are really good. My very hopeful prediction, and you said 2023, I say this summer. Maybe not completely mask free, maybe not no restrictions, but I think just
Are you talking about where stores don't?
Maybe not with stores. I'm just saying summer. Maybe we reach a point where we have a good enough vaccination that we can start having those conversations about okay, at what point can we take the masks off? I think realistically, I think 2022 is going to be the latest. I don't think this is going to extend to 2023. I think like any strain of an infection, just like the flu, there are people working hard on it to make vaccines that, like yearly shots, like these flu shots, because there's a new strain for the flu every year that they'd respond to. I think that same process can happen with the coronavirus, where they, you're looking at something.
Yeah, sorry, the camera stopped earlier.
Oh.
Is it? Yeah, keep talking.
Okay. So, yeah, I think it'll reach a point where scientists and researchers can keep on working throughout every strain that may or may not develop as a result of the main infection. So, really hopeful for summer to start having those conversations if things go good. And then I don't think it's going to go any later than 2022. Not a day later. I think 2023 we will be...
Not a day later than 2022?
Not a day later. December 31st, 2022, we better be done.
What?
I specifically had more 20s than I should have. Because I realized I said 3, and I'm like, alright, screw it. Might as well say 8. 2020, 22.
Yeah.
I think we should be done.
So not this summer, then?
I don't know. There's people that say...
throw in some realism.
I mean, there's people that say that we should have been done with this a while ago, and there's people that say that we won't be done with this until 2024.
We knew from...
So there's wildly different opinions, and then there's...
Yeah, but it's hard
then there's people that kind of can close in on an area, and that area may or may not shift a little bit.
Yeah, but it's hard to develop a vaccine. You know what I mean? And then to get it out to...
I mean, we've proven that the process for developing a vaccine can be really quick. A year is a very, very fast window, and it will only get faster. The polio vaccine, I believe, and don't take this for a word because I don't know, and it could be misinformation, but I believe the polio vaccine took well over 10 years to develop.
Yeah.
Well over, to maybe even 20. And that could be wrong. But I just feel like I remember that from somewhere. So to go from that kind of time period to 1 year, less than 1 year, is... he's going to look it up.
Yeah.
Good.
We can do that.
But yeah, I think that's extraordinary that we were able to reach that point, and I think it's only going to get faster. I really do. And I think the response to a strain of the coronavirus will be easier than just working outright on the coronavirus. I think that vaccine is going to be easier to develop as well, or at least I hope it would be.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking it up right now, and it's saying... I don't think this answers the question, though. I said, how long did it take to develop the polio vaccine? Sorry, it says it took almost 50 years for another scientific study to detail the features of the disease. So I think that's saying it's like how they could really recognize what polio was.
Yeah. But can we agree that it took much longer than a year?
Yeah.
Because I think I can safely say it took a lot longer than a year to develop that
century.
vaccine. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there's like a timeline.
Oh, there is?
1948, Kabrowski tests polio vaccine on himself.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
That's a bold move.
I was gonna say.
That's confidence right there.
For 1948, though, like that's pretty risky.
We're using ketchup as headache medicine, not 1948, but like
a few decades before they were using cocaine for medical stuff too.
Oh yeah. Yep.
We should go back to those times.
Yeah,
back when it was in Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
Well, we're at 54 minutes and 46 seconds into this recording. I think we're going to stop it for today. If you like this, and if you didn't like this, stick around, because next episode is going to probably be nothing like this. We're going to jump into a lot of stuff.
There's going to be a lot more preparation.
Hopping into some current events, and then we're going to be wilding out into... maybe not a serial killer, littering, but maybe something else. Maybe a robber not putting his grocery cart back.
We'll probably have a third person next time,
You think
right?
we'll have a third person next week?
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know. That's why I asked.
I don't know.
So if you don't know and I don't know.
I don't know.
Our two perspectives, I feel like, might be a little bit too similar.
So
I don't agree. I don't agree at all. I don't agree with that at all.
Well, I guess that proves your point in that.
Yeah. If I said I agree, then I agree with your...
All I'm saying is after we talk, we kind of we end up leveling, you know?
That's the whole point of conversation.
Yeah, but
I think
no.
the end result of two people having a heated conversation, maybe not heated, but a conversation whereas there is significant disagreement. I think the goal is for them to level. I think that's the goal.
Yeah. I don't know.
So if we're doing that, that means I think we're having productive, quality discussion.
I'm just saying, I don't know.
Like, do you want it to get more heated? Like, do you want us,
I personally like hearing heated conversations.
Listen, I can go full guns and blazes if you'd like me to.
It doesn't need to get personal, though. So,
No, it doesn't. Yeah. I won't make it personal.
Yeah.
But if you want me to go full guns and blazes, I will. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I was too weak this episode.
No, it's not like that.
Sauce. No. I'm disagreeing with you on everything now.
All right, that's fine.
No, it's not.
Okay.
I can't disagree.
Not okay.
It's not okay. It wasn't funny.
Well, you got an outro for us then?
I don't have an outro because this is episode 0, and episode 0 always sucks. So this will be a sucky ending. But I hope that your day doesn't have a sucky ending. I hope you have a wonderful day. Hope you have a wonderful week. We will see you on episode 1 of Jam Machines.
Boom.